Yeah, I'm actually really excited that people are interested in finance, in investing, and whatever, like however you want to express that, either through trading stocks, cryptocurrencies. All of those things come with a certain bit of risk. Real estate, private companies, all those things come with their own inherent risk, and so people should be aware of that. Quick note is I'm not going to provide investment advice. I have to say that. But I'm actually really excited because I think when you start to focus on money and money flows, you get to really realize how interconnected the world is and how certain things tie together. And one point in particular I want to bring up is like, if you look at the war like in the Middle East with Syria and, like with the rise of ISIS, it looks really peculiar as like who's on what side until you realize there's a pipeline being built initially from Iran through Syria into Crimea and into Russia. And then the UAE just trying to divert that and build a pipeline instead through Syria to the, I forget which sea, so that it could be shipped to Europe.
So what you're saying is there's an interest in money and not as much in any sort of political or religious reasons.
Yeah, and I think like if you look at for instance, like Palestine, actually the West Bank is the most fertile land in the world for agriculture. So like, could that be a possible motivation for,
snap.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like intricacies about that you get to realize like when I was on Wall Street seeing, money flows and you're like, whoa, this is so weird. Like who's investing in what? Why are these people business partners? That reveals, a potential story behind the geopolitics of things. And then also I think the best way, also obviously I'm biased because I'm in finance, to kind of institute change. Like I remember like I was actually on the street when Occupy Wall Street was going on, which was slightly comical to me because all the banks were in Midtown New York and they were all downtown and there's like literally no one there. And, in my eyes, didn't get a lot of change. But when a bunch of Bank of America customers started protesting, I think it was like ATM withdrawal fees or like the check cashing fee, some kind of fees. It took like 6 days and Bank of America reversed his decision because so many people were starting to pull out their accounts. So I love activism that's backed by, voting with your wallet. Like if you really believe in animal rights, consume meat that is, raised ethically, slaughtered ethically, and that way you actually direct profits to those companies in that way, and you encourage them to actually do those activities. I don't I worry a lot about climate change, so I'm trying to switch as much as possible to EVs or non-fossil fuel providers, and it's going to show up because ExxonMobil is going to make a little bit less money, and if enough of us do that, they'll make a lot less money, and they themselves, without the need for like legislation, will start shifting their own activities. Legislation obviously has its place, and there are limits on like what you can do through that because if there's four companies and it's an oligopoly in the marketplace, you can only buy from these four people. But it's obviously all within context.
So what you're saying is like people like at their homes have a lot of power, like when it involves like, making change, and like it all surrounds itself around money. Yeah,
I think that's one way to easily be vocal about what, and it's an easy way to band together because, what was happening the last summer with police brutality, you could go out and protest it that way. But the other way is also like to cut funding. Like I'm actually like a really big proponent of defunding the police movement because I kind of think that like the police unions are just so powerful. Like we're never going to like legislate our way out of that because they just have too much power. So let's just cut their paycheck, remove their funds.
Also, recently the Wall Street bets whole thing, GameStop, all that, is that another example of like how the people are starting to have a lot more power with, investing and our personal finances and changing how these companies move?
Yeah, I think that was really interesting. And it's funny to me because, having seen Occupy Wall Street and now Wall Street Bets, getting back at Wall Street has evolved from picketing outside to actually hitting them where it hurts.